Hello, girls. This worksheet is for practice with verbals, including participles, gerunds, infinitives. Plus, there are some directions here at the top saying that I'd like you to identify both subjects and verbs. Okay, so you should have done this for homework already. This is a nice quick check and a review in case you would like some added explanation or review. You can stop and go as many times as you like. All right, so let's look at the first sentence. If we're following the directions here, it says underline and label verbs and subject. Okay, so what we see here is capsize is our verb. Who or what capsized? The ship capsized. Great. Now we also don't have it on here, but we know we mark prepositional phrases if we see them. So we have one here, in a violent storm. So you have some options. Are there participles, gerunds, or infinitives at all listed here? What we see here is caught in a violent storm. Caught is a past participial phrase. It does not end in ing. It is irregular. It modifies the ship, which was caught in the violent storm. So that is a past participial phrase. Number 2, the judge, worried about losing his position, freed a guilty man. So we have our verb, which is freed. Who or what freed? The judge freed. The judge freed who or what? Man. We do have a direct object here. Feel free to add in other things that you know. We have a prepositional phrase about his position, which we're used to marking. And then we see worried here. We see an ed, which tells us that, again, this is also a participial phrase. Worried about losing his position modifies the judge, who is worried about losing his position. So this is a past participial phrase also. Number 3, faking illness seems the best way to go. All right, let's see what we have here. We have seems is a linking verb. Who or what seems? Well, you might want to say it's illness seems, but if you look at it further and knowing what we know about phrases at this point in the game, we know to look a little bit bigger. So we have faking illness seems. Who or what seems? Faking the illness seems. So this would tell us this is the entire subject here. We'll come back to that in a second. Faking illness seems what? Seems like the way. So the way is our direct object here. So knowing what we know, we have an ing acting like a subject. It would be a gerund phrase, right? That one there, faking illness would be a gerund phrase. Now we also see an infinitive phrase here, right? We have to go. To plus a verb is an infinitive phrase here, an infinitive phrase. Okay, very good. Several of the senators facing re-election decided to campaign. All right, what do we have here? Several of the senators, we have of the senators is a prep phrase. We see to campaign, but we know this is not a prepositional phrase because it's to plus a verb. So we know that's going to be one of our verbals. All right, let's start with the verb, decided. Who or what decided? Several decided. Now it is the senators doing the deciding, but since senators comes inside a prepositional phrase, that will be no use to us as a subject. So technically several decided would be the subject verb. Okay. Now we have here facing re-election. We see the ing, which gives us a hint. It's either a present or past participial, or it is a gerund if it's acting as having a job in the sentence. We know, looking at the way this is positioned in the sentence, that it's modifying something. It is not holding its own job. So this would be a participial, present participial phrase, and we know here we have an infinitive phrase because we have to plus the verb. Sentence number 5. Not one to hide her disappointment, Jackie cried at losing. All right, complicated sentence here. So we have cried is your verb. Who cried? Jackie cried. At losing is a prep phrase. Okay. Not one to hide her disappointment. So we have to hide here. We have to plus a verb. It's not a prepositional phrase, even though it has a to. It's not acting as a prep phrase. All right, one to hide her disappointment. Jackie is one, really not one, to hide her disappointment. This would be our infinitive phrase modifying Jackie. So we also have the infinitive here. Megan's jobs included taking out the trash, feeding the cat, and cleaning her room. So we have included is your verb. Who or what included? The jobs included. Not Megan included. Megan is telling us whose job it is. Job is your subject. Jobs included who? Jobs included what? Jobs included taking out the trash, also feeding the cat, and cleaning her room. Noticing that these all end in ing. Noticing that they're answering the who or what question after the verb, making them direct objects. Therefore, we have gerunds because they play a part in the sentence. 3 gerund phrases acting as a direct object in this case.